Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, throw open your windows and call out to your neighbors. It's time for John Perrotta's Comedy Factory Zoom Alooza, sponsored in part by the Squatters Association of America. Why? Well, folks, if you can't figure that one out, you just aren't paying attention. And now, your host, John Perrotta.
Mikey, it's Thanksgiving week. You couldn't come up with, maybe stovetop stuffing or something, you know what I mean?
Well, I got a
we
call.
Couldn't have got a better sponsor than that.
I got a call from the Squatters Association. They're very concerned about current events. So I said, we'll give it a plug.
Mikey, we got to get better sponsors. We're going in the toilet here. This is crazy. You gotta work on the sponsors. It's crazy. We got an esteemed panel. Thanksgiving week, esteemed panel, very funny. She's a first responder, a nurse, very funny comic. Larisa Entin is in the house. Larisa. Hi. We got my man, he's known as the Bandit around New England. Many celebrities, we'll talk about a couple of them tonight. Pat McLoud, very funny guy. Pat McLeod, always at the Comedy Connection with me. And then we got the very talented comedian, singer, Darlene Andrade, also known as Lady D, is in the house. Lady D, what's going on?
Everything's doing good.
You look good. And then we got coming to us from Florida. Got his internet straightened out right now. We'll see what happens. Very funny guy. Did comedy with him back in the early 90s. Mike Thomas. What's going on, brother?
It's I'm down in Florida, still the COVID capital of America.
Everything's open. Open everything up.
Oh, everything's open. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody's 50 people over for Thanksgiving. Big, huge turkeys. Everything's fine. No problems here.
I'm not going to get into it. Some people are not well in this world. They're coming to us just off a trip from Vegas. Did some stuff out there. Very funny from Mass. I always think New Hampshire because that's where I met Holly. Met Holly at 40th Tavern in New Hampshire. Holly Johnston's here. How you doing, Holly?
Doing good, John. Thanks for having me on.
Let's start with you because I'm interested in Vegas. You and Nick LaBouffe, you're I don't know if he's your better half or your other half or your other better half, but you and Nick went out to Vegas. So what happened?
Yeah. So we went out to Vegas for a week, and we went to the World Series of Comedy Festival at it was at this hotel called the Stratosphere. And we stayed at the hotel. We did a comedy show the same night. We were actually in the same show. We both competed against each other. Neither of us went through, so it was cool. But we both got to do a show at LA Comedy Club, which is located like inside the casino at the Stratosphere. So we got to do a show for like just an audience that would just, they were just looking for something to do, and we were able to do it live, which is super cool because, live comedy right now is so rare. And I actually won the lottery. So they did a raffle kind of thing where they pulled your name or your business card out of a box, and the winners got to do an extra show. So I actually ended up being in the lottery. So I got to do a 10 p.m. late night show. Wow, which was super fun. And I did a podcast while I was out there. It's called The Art of Bombing, and it's run by Dan Bublitz. Shout out to Dan Bublitz. He, not to plug anyone else's podcast on your podcast, John. I didn't mean to do that. But it was really cool. I got to meet comics from like all different states, and I got to meet a lot of people from the California scene and from New York and everything. So it was a really great experience, and I would 100% go back.
That's cool. Maybe you can, what's the name of the podcast you run?
The Art of Bombing.
Who runs that?
His name's Dan Bublitz.
Is there any way, Holly, you can put Dan in touch with Mike, and we can try to get better sponsors and see what Dan has? Dan's out in Vegas doing the Art of Bombing. I'm sure he's got better sponsors than the Squatters.
I don't know who his sponsors are. He's got stickers. He's got merch.
He's got all kind of stuff going on out there. Mike he put up a red thing and a Santa hat, and he thinks we're all
Mike's just so proud of his green screen. That's his pride.
Yeah. Holly, great to see you again. I'm glad you did well in Vegas. We're gonna
Good to
go
see you,
all the
Joe.
girls
Thank
tonight first, all the ladies. And we're
No.
gonna go with Lady D, Darlene Andrade, who sang on the hill. And
Yeah.
when she was wrapped around with you were like in a fish tank singing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually. They had 3 wooden steps that I stepped on to a platform, and there was a wall on both sides of me and in front of me of plexiglass. So I was like singing to plexiglass. It was a little strange, but but I kept warm up there. It was nice, and no one could come near me, so it was pretty cool.
Like a prison visit.
I was calling it a fish tank. I was like,
Did Natasha come and see you over there?
no, I had to leave her home. She swears too much.
She swears too much. I met Darlene. I don't know when it was, 99, 2000, somewhere around there. She did first show at the Seaconk Ramada, and we used to do a lot of shows over there. And just to mention, yeah, I think I mentioned it last night too, but one of the last big restaurants that I booked that held 200 people, Spiritos Restaurant. They were in Broadway in Providence for a bunch of years, and then moved to Cranston. Had a room upstairs from the restaurant, 200 people. And the owners, Gregory and Dave, they were great people. And they always took care of the comics, you know, really hooked us up. And it was a great place to perform. And I found out yesterday they closed. After Sunday
Yeah.
they closed. So because of the
Saw that on the news.
different things. Yeah, so yeah, they were great guys. It's a big loss for him, the brothers, the family. It's a big loss for comedy in Rhode Island because that was it was the biggest room that I booked, and I used to mix in new comics, veteran comics. We had some great shows over there. So really disappointing way to start the week finding that out. But on that note, we're gonna go to our correspondent in Russia, Larisa Entin, a Russian nurse. What's up, Larisa?
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, I have to tell you, like, John, when we were talking, let's say March, April, May, I think I was not as scared back then as I am now. Maybe because of the amount of people getting sick, maybe because it's a holiday season, maybe because we hoped we will have a vaccine by now. It's just pretty scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
So it's like almost everybody, you know, at least somebody is sick or was sick or getting sick. It's scary. It's scary if everything else will get closed again. It's like we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And after you read about the vaccine and about the side effects, some people would not even show up, they saying, for the second vaccine because of such a severe side effects. So it's just really hit me hard today by
it's scary. It's scary because I mean, we don't know when we're gonna get back to any kind of normalcy. I want to be able to just live. I'm tired of it's like crazy. We can't really live like we were used to. I mean, some people are just saying the heck with it and doing whatever they want. I mean, that's up to them. But I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to get sick. You know what I mean? But it's just scary. The whole thing's it's scary situation.
Absolutely. You want to
protect I want to see crowds come back to shows, the social distances. I want to see a nice, when we did Spiritos, I'll never forget it. I was lucky I had one show taped. We had 200 people, and it was always a great audience, and really, really tough to lose that place. On that note, we're going to my man, the Bandit, Pat McLoud's in the house. What's up, Pat?
What's going on, John? Thanks for having me.
What are you up to, buddy?
I feel like Johnny Carson after he retired, and I'm like being a secluse. There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
Is he dead or alive?
Yeah, Pat came down to the Comedy Connection a lot. We had a lot of laughs. He was hosting some shows, and he's I always find it interesting about Pat. We mentioned on the last show he was on. He goes around and meets different celebrities. He's met Letterman, Leno. The list goes on and on. Jerry Lewis.
Wow.
You got a couple you can pop on us tonight, Pat, that we didn't. And I know you met Burt Reynolds. And
I have some names I dropped down just in case, just to be ready for you.
Give us a couple, and then we'll come back for a couple after.
So I'll start with well, Holly was talking about Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas, and my wife and I got married in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the second night second to last night before we got married, we went to go see Rich Little together at the Laugh Factory.
I always loved him. Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was actually the night before we got married. We saw him, and
He's got to be old now, Pat, right?
yeah, and he was taking pictures afterwards, and he was a great guy, big legend to me.
Yeah. When I was young, he was in the guy for impersonation, Rich Little. He was on all the TV shows, and he was awesome. I always enjoyed him. You know. Who else did you meet, Pat?
And then, because my wife and I got married on September 12th, so I remember, I saw Rich Little on the 11th, and then on the 10th, I went to go see Wayne Newton, and I got a meet and greet with him.
A meet and greet with Wayne Newton.
And all the Cougars were after me. I was having Malibu and pineapple, and I think I brought the attention off Wayne.
The Cougars were after you. Huh?
He had this boss guy. He had like this Italian manager, and I told him I was a comic and I always wanted to open up for him. And he said, "Oh yeah," he gave me his card. And then I saw Wayne Newton afterwards, shook his hand. We took a picture. I said, "Wayne Newton," I said, "I've always wanted to open for you. I'm a comedian." And he said, "I'd like to see your stuff." So I sent him like a DVD, and I didn't hear anything back. But his manager sent me back a message, and he said, "Pat, thanks for inquiring." He said, "But no one goes on the stage except for Wayne." So maybe he was too afraid that I'd upstage him.
He was afraid you'd upstage Wayne Newton. We'll come back to you for a couple more. I love listening to Pat's stories. He's got all these different stories. Mike, what's going on in Florida?
Same old, I stay in the house. I work from home. I get my groceries delivered. People are just crazy down here. We hear people, we live like 25 minutes from Disney. And there's parties going on, like from people vacationing. And it's craziness out there. They just don't care. And every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, there's a helicopter flying around the neighborhood looking for parties to break them up. So, and the last time, every time I've been on, I always have a big drink, Lady D, the last time we were on together, we had the big drink. So it's gotten too much. So now I only drink what I can fit in my flask. So I fill up my flask once a day. And I only drink what I can fit in my flask now. So
where the heck did you get that, Mike?
Hey, these things find me, John. I don't find them.
I hear you.
I used to drink when I first met you like crazy. Now you're drinking and I don't drink.
I said it before. I'm surprised you and I are still alive. I'm surprised we can even still speak.
From the early 90s.
Yeah, I was.
Mikey was there. Mike Cronin. Go ahead, Darlene. What are you gonna say?
I've regressed.
Oh, hey, at least that you can't spill anything out of. Spill anything out of that.
Mike Cronin, what do you make of?
I'll be back in a second.
What do you make of all this so far, Mike?
I love Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas has the most joyful, cute face. You just want to go up and squeeze him and give him a big hug.
Is that a fact thing?
I'm telling you, man, you just always look so happy, always so content, happy, big smile on your face.
There's enough in life to be sad about. You got to be happy. You got to put all that stuff. I have my days where I'm like, I don't really want to, but most of the time you got to put that shit aside.
That's
be
right,
happy.
Brother. You got
Life's
that's
too
right,
short.
man.
Life's
That
too
is
short.
right.
That's it.
I want to go to Pat. Pat, I want to know up close to Wayne Newton with the gazillion cosmetic surgeries that guy's had. Does his face move? What does it look like?
It was pretty scary up close. You think we're having technical difficulties tonight?
It was like me before. It was like me before Frozen.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when I got really close to him. I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean, that
but
guy
I
is.
still want to open for you.
He's one of those people where you would say to yourself, not what have they had done. You would ask, what haven't they had done?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just got everything done.
I met Cher once, and I always thought she's so beautiful, Cher. And you get up close to her, you could see their face. The plastic surgery is like, it was really unbelievable. Yeah,
That's what happened to me.
I still love Cher. Though.
Too much Botox.
Cher
It's
is
crazy.
someone where if she just left herself be, she would have aged beautifully because she was beautiful as a young girl, beautiful as, well, we don't know, middle age. Well, when she had the Sonny and Cher show, before, her teeth were still pushed back and wasn't rocking any of that stuff. She would have aged gracefully. I give it up for actresses, or they don't like to be called that, like to be called actors now, like Jamie Lee Curtis. Never had anything done. She looks fantastic. She looks fantastic.
You think she never had anything done?
Nothing. Never had anything done.
I don't know. I
Do
saw
a
her
deep
on
dive.
TV.
Do a deep dive on her. You'll find out she's had nothing done. It's like Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner's sister Kendall is like a straw, straight up and down. Now you got Kylie. She's built like an inflatable blow up Michelin dial that got squeezed in some areas and blown out in others. I mean, does she really think that we believe she looks like that? I mean, if we took her in the backyard and hosed her down, she's not going to look like that at all. At all. Same thing with Kim. I mean, the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian, Khloe, and Kylie Jenner, they forget that we have this little device called Google image search. They expect us to think that, once we ran into money, we woke up with Volkswagen Beetles in our underpants. No, you don't grow those type of badonkas,
don't know
just
what that
because now you
means.
got a ton of money. I mean, they and
Mike-
what bugs me
Mike-
about that is, man, what do you got, Mike? We got
Mike's
Mike
a stalker. Mike's a stalker.
Mike's coming
Watch
in
out.
with some
Mike is a stalker.
some serious face there. Because what happens is, man, you've got these
Nuts.
young girls that are under such pressure to look like them. It's just very, very sad. And the
It is
same
sad.
thing, man. Same thing that goes with guys. You look at all these guys like Lou Dobbs. Lou Dobbs, come on, Lou. Lou slapped on a nice, expensive pair of veneers. He dyes his hair constantly. The guy's like 80. That's not what you look like. Stop it. All these guys that roll out there, that go through hair and makeup, dyeing the hair. That's not what you look like. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
All I know is the one thing I got out of tonight is I'm stealing that Volkswagen Beetle line.
You
I like that.
That was the best line of the night so far.
That was great.
Wow.
Let's go to Holly, because Holly hasn't said nothing since Vegas, Holly. What else you got coming up? You got any shows coming up?
I think everything's going into hibernation right now. I think, I did a live show this past weekend. It was fantastic. I don't know when the next one's going to be. I know of a lot of live mics that are getting ready for this period of shutdown, unfortunately, even in Rhode Island. Like, Rhode Island's been the one that's been open when, like, Boston, everything hasn't been. But now even Rhode Island's starting to shut down. So,
Yeah, I think they're going to the governor called it a pause. I know Brian Vincent, I texted him today, they're shutting down his, about the sunny side. They're going to shut that down. And
they're shutting down a lot of stuff, unfortunately. But, I
think
mean,
it'll be a tough winter for the comedy, but hopefully when the winter's over, hopefully the vaccine will be rolling in and things will get better. I think it's going to be really tough till then, but we'll see.
I think thinking on the bright side, I think, obviously when everything's shut down, you lose that stage performance and all that. But, like, honestly, when I just sat down and, like, I forced myself to write for a few months straight during the pandemic. And, I took some virtual classes. Like, I did everything else besides the performance aspect of it to get myself ready for when I was going to be able to go back on stage. And it really helped. And I feel like sometimes when you have a show coming up, you're like, oh, I'm just going to do what I know works. But, when you don't have that pressure to do that same set, sometimes you can play around more, you can develop things more. So, I mean, it's not ideal, but there are ways to keep up with comedy during a lockdown. And that's how I am going to look at it.
I got to say, you hustle you hustle just about as much as anybody I know in doing comedy right now, you know.
Thank you,
does.
John. Thank
Holly,
you, John.
You and Nick and Holly hustle. They get into things, and
Oh yeah.
I admire that.
One
you know?
one day, Holly, I'm going to tell my granddaughter. I know Holly. Holly's a friend of mine. My granddaughter's going to say, Grampy Mike, stop being silly. You do not know her. You don't know her. You have an A game. You really, really do. I am so impressed with your drive, your dedication, just what you just said now. So we're in a pandemic. We're not on the stage. What do? You're taking this time to write, perfecting. I mean, that is just something to be applauded.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, if I could sing, I would sing the theme to the Mary Tyler Moore Show. You're going to make it. I'm telling you, man, one day we're going to see you do the twirl and throw the hat up in the air.
Holly,
You're
Holly,
gonna make it happen.
yeah,
I'm too
Holly
young for that
That's
shit.
Yeah,
That's
Lady
right.
D.
that was
Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore.
I'm 2 years older than Mike's granddaughter or Mike's daughter. So
What's
That's right.
granddaughter?
I admire
Whoops.
Holly because she's getting in young. How old
Thanks
are
for
you
pointing
and
that
Nick?
out, Holly.
I'm 23. Nick's also 23.
23 years old. I started at 33. You know, that was 29 years ago. So
Wow.
I am in the twilight, Larissa. I'm in the twilight of my career, and a pandemic hits. I don't have time to mess around. I'm 62. I didn't need a pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
John, you're not retiring. I told you you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They will just treat you like nothing had happened.
You're crazy, Larissa. We're gonna see what happens. I hope there's a comeback.
John, if you survive the 90s, you'll be fine. You're going to be here.
Yeah, the
If you survive
90s,
all that shit, you'll be fine.
the 90s were
right,
rough.
Mike. That's right.
You weren't around in the 90s here,
Cockroach.
Larissa. It was crazy.
I saw Dr. Fauci Sunday on TV.
A lot of drinking.
Yeah, we did, man. I was right there with Johnny P. That is for sure, for sure.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, boy. But anyway, Sunday morning, I saw Dr. Fauci on one of the shows, and he had said with the success of this vaccine or these vaccines that he expects we could be back to life as we remember it normal by May. Now, I want to go to Larissa because Larissa brought up a
We
point
still
about
might
a
have
side
to wear
effect.
masks, though. We still might have to wear masks, they said.
Larissa, what were you referencing when you said about the side effects?
Well, I was actually reading today about the side effects. So, it's not going to be just one vaccine. They said 2 vaccines.
Right, 2.
If you get one, let's say December 1st, it has to be exactly January 1st, the second vaccine. But they were talking about the side effects, how severe muscle aches, and even how it affects you mentally. And some people might even afraid to go back for the second vaccine because of the side effects.
What I'm
It's what I
hoping
would
on
do.
that is that enough people get it, and then we can hit herd immunity. Because that would mean not everyone would have to get
Now
it.
you're talking like Trump's Dr. Atlas. Heard
No,
of
that whack job.
We don't want to get into politics, but
He belongs out in the Four Seasons
Hey.
Landscaping parking lot with Rudy Giuliani
hey,
with his hair dye.
if they could go back in time, Dr. Atlas, he belonged ringing the bell at the Addams family at the mansion.
I
That's
know,
what Dr.
man. I know.
Atlas-
When you,
He's a nut.
I know that we don't like to
Not
get
even
political.
an infectious disease doctor, and they put him in charge of a pandemic. The guy said, well, let everybody die and we'll see what happens.
Hey, Larissa, I'm
I
curious
could say
about
that.
this. Oop.
Go ahead, Holly.
I'm curious. Have they mentioned anything about anyone donating antibodies? Is that possible? If you have antibodies, can you donate them?
So yes, personally, I participated in the study to see if I had it or not, and seems like it was negative for me. Otherwise, I signed the papers. If I am positive, yes, you're welcome to take the samples of my plasma. Yes. So I don't know anybody on a personal level, but yes, we did participate in the study.
Oh, interesting.
Healthcare employees.
McLoud.
I have to go take that antibody test because I swear I had it. Like at the beginning.
Oh, Mike, it's
I said the same
Lost
thing.
control, Pat.
That's okay.
I said
Pat
the same
McLeod,
thing.
give us a couple more. Wait, Lady D, we'll get to you. Pat McLeod, another
That's okay.
couple of celebrities.
First of all, I think I know who has the vaccine. I think it's Wayne Newton. I think we have to go to Vegas. I think he injected blood on his face. I think
we'll make a movie of us going to get the vaccine from Wayne Newton. Who do you got next, Pat, on your list of meetings?
See what I got down here. Billy Crystal. That's a big one.
Oh,
that's a big
wow.
one.
I
Billy
love
Crystal.
him.
How was he? What was he like?
I met him on my 32nd birthday. He came to Boston to do a show. And the exchange, I asked my wife, and the exchange was, I said, hey, if I can go meet Billy Crystal, I'll take you down to New York to see Hamilton. And she said, oh, are you serious? I said, absolutely. So I got to meet Billy Crystal.
I was he pretty cool.
Yeah,
he was Hamilton.
He thought they were both great. He thought I was 15 when I went up to him. He called me, he said, hey, slugger.
Slugger.
And then he tried trying to guess how old I was. And he was asking people in the line. And you know who else was it behind me was, Paul D'Angelo. He was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, is that Pat McLoud? So he was in line too for Billy Crystal. I was like, it's funny to see a fellow comedian like into the same comics.
Paul's a nice guy. Paul D'Angelo, real nice guy. Funny.
Yeah.
Really funny. Who else did you meet, Pat? Give us another one.
A big one. Actually, last November was Chevy Chase.
Oh, where'd you meet?
Wow.
Where'd you meet Chevy Chase? I like Chevy. Where'd you meet?
At the Rhode Island Comic Con.
He was in Rhode Island?
Yeah. Where were you?
Oh, wow.
You were there.
I didn't even know. What did he say to you? How was he? Was he cool?
He was.
He's old now. He's old now.
Yeah. He was very, like, he had that attitude like he knew he had to be there. It was like more of a commitment than to be there for the fans. He was only there for the money. And people said that he wasn't shaking hands with fans, but I shook his hand and I told him I was a comedian, and he shook my hand and he said, I really like comedians. And then he didn't smile in anybody's picture. That's the funniest thing.
You read article after article about Chevy Chase being difficult.
I saw it in Rhode Island, but he's still a great comedian and icon.
I liked him in Foul Play with Goldie Hawn just turned 75, but there was a movie, Foul Play. I've seen it like 6 times. If you haven't seen it, Foul Play with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase. That was a good movie. A little suspense, comedy, love story, everything. It's like the first 25 years of my life. Like Lady D, you should have had your music go and sing a song tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm babysitting.
Who are you babysitting for? Tony, your husband?
Yeah.
What, you got him in timeout?
He actually just walked in. No,
Did he?
Babysitting for my daughter.
And how old are the kids?
The youngest is 2. The middle 2 are 8 and 9 and 15.
One was just on your lap, right? About maybe 10 minutes ago.
That was a 2-year-old. He just woke up from a nap.
You ever need help babysitting, Darlene? You know what I mean? Mike flies in from Florida, Mike Cronin, and we'll come over and we'll do a Zoom there. We'll watch the kids and bring some pizza and we'll hook them up.
That'll be a blast. We should do that.
I wouldn't be a good babysitter because I'd let them do whatever they want.
Actually, there's some funny kids here, you know. This little 2-year-old that's sitting in his high chair right here just dumped his pizza on the floor. Cut up. He just threw it on the floor just now. But he's hysterical. He goes up to the TV and he says, "Is that TV on?" Because if it is, it's gonna start making noise. Because he goes up and he says, "Alexa, sing Happy Birthday." So, and they'll
He's 2 years old.
He'll start singing Happy Birthday, and then my other grandkids got tired of it, so they shut it off. And he goes up and he says, "Alexa, sing Happy Birthday." She's not doing anything, and he goes, "Alexa, sing Happy Birthday." Not doing anything. "Alexa, are you okay?" It's hysterical.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, there's always something funny going on around here. Crazy house.
Darlene, you just set my echo off. I'm in a room with one, and you said something, and now it's talking to me.
One day I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and I said to my granddaughter in the background, I'm like, set your clock to get up at 8 a.m. And I said, you get up early tomorrow. She's like, no. So I said, Alexa, set the alarm for 8 a.m. And Siri, set the alarm for 8 a.m. And it went off.
No. This is what you got to do. This is what my son does. When my son comes to visit, he goes up to Alexa and he says, Alexa, remind Mike every day that he's a douchebag at 6 p.m.
No.
Honest to God, at 6 p.m., Alexa will go, this is your reminder that Mike's a douchebag. And I'm like,
serious?
honest to God, that's what you got to do. If you go into someone's house, you got to whisper to it and just say, Alexa, remind me every day that I'm a douchebag. And every day at 6 p.m., when you tell it to do it, it will repeat it and say, you're a douchebag.
Are you kidding
I'm
me?
not up with the technology. I don't want anything where I can talk and it does stuff. I don't want any.
Yeah.
Another thing I never wanted was in the car. If I want to use my phone, I put it on speaker. I don't want the car all of a sudden ringing and I'm in the car. And maybe crazy ex-girlfriend's calling me and I had to answer the phone. No, I don't answer the phone. I don't want no phones ringing in the car. I don't.
Yeah,
My cell rings.
good.
I can look at it. I can answer it. I'll get it later. I don't want to get it.
What's the
I
matter?
don't want it just ringing in the car. I don't know about you.
You know, and then you gotta set them random too. Set like one for every day, then set one for like once a week, and then once a month, and then once. And I'm telling you, it'll because they can't get rid of all of them. They just get rid of one, so you gotta set multiple ones throughout. You know,
I don't want nothing to do with any of that
technology
technology.
is a beautiful thing. You can really wreak havoc on people's life.
I don't want nothing to do with it.
I used it
Larissa,
tonight,
you
man.
got that stuff?
No, no.
You don't?
You don't walk in your house and say, turn the lights on.
My whole house is automated. I can,
I want,
my whole house is automated.
you live in the Jetsons. It's
I'm
like the
telling you,
Jetsons.
I can lock my front door. I can control my TV. I control all my lights.
No,
Everything.
I want to lock my door. I put my alarm on. I want to know what's going on. I'm not.
But that's
telling anybody.
when you get as fat as I am, you don't want to leave the couch. You just want to just sit there and lay and just turn on the lights, lock the door. You know.
Now,
You
Mike,
guys are crazy.
back in the '90s when we were all doing
Guys are
comedy,
nuts.
you were a svelte guy. You were like my size. How big are you? Are you big now? Is that what you're telling us?
I'm bigger than I was.
He's a,
I mean, come on. Can't you see how many chins I have, for Christ's sake?
Well,
he's like,
I
a
can,
large, he's like a large doughboy out in
but
Florida.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
have that. You have developed an adorable, cute look.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike.
Don't you want
This
to do like
show
the Pillsbury?
we might have did a love connection tonight. Mike Cronin in North Providence, Mike in Florida.
I've always
Mike
you
and Mike.
guys have got a connection tonight. I can sense it.
Thank God I'm 1,500 miles away. That's all I have to say.
Holly, you
I've
sense this?
always loved Mike Thomas.
Marissa, Holly, you
Always.
guys sense this? Lady D, I mean, I think there's a connection going on here.
Yeah, I think
Mike
so
and
too.
Mike.
I think.
No.
I think
Mike
you should
Cronin-
talk to your wife, Mike, and take a trip up and see Mike for
In fact,
Thanksgiving.
let me,
Ask him
let me,
to stay
I
by
have
the
a
curtains.
question for Mike.
let me just say, I hadn't seen Mike Cronin for years. I don't know why. I still lived in Rhode Island. We were still doing comedy. You know, I just hadn't seen him. And then we had the dinner for Terry. Remember we had the,
Yeah.
and I saw Mike Cronin. And Mike Cronin came up to me and said, it looked like you ate yourself, Mike. What happened?
Right?
So yes, Mike, I gained some weight.
Oh, boy.
Mike,
oh,
you
boy.
are-
Holly had a question. What were you going to say, Holly?
Yeah, Mike. I had other Mike. No, the
Which
Florida
Mike?
Mike. The Florida
Florida
Mike.
All
Me,
right.
I had
me.
a question. Do you think Alexa listens to your conversations? Because that's
Absolutely.
my biggest
Absolutely
fear.
no doubt about it. Absolutely, positively
I'm
no doubt.
telling you.
I
It's
think
Big
there's
Brother.
actually
In fact,
proof that
there's
she does.
a part of it. You
Uh-oh.
can listen to every single command that's ever been given to her.
Oh, that's
You can actually listen to the voice,
So
and
if
it's
you're
an actual recording of the person's voice.
So if you're having a conversation with your wife, is that recording?
They say no, it's not, but I'm telling you, it's got to be.
I think
It's got to be listening. How does it know when I say its name?
Hey, I don't want nothing to do with that. Lady
No,
D, you got
no,
one of
no.
them?
John, your phone.
Well, you know, my last our last kid just moved out, so we're empty nesters now. I pulled up in the driveway the other day and I heard all this racket coming from my house. I'm like, what the hell's going on? There's nobody in there. I unlocked the door, I walk in, and Siri and Alexa's playing Marco Polo.
Oh, no.
Ridiculous.
That's
yeah, no,
creepy.
I do. I have, hey Siri. Oh, see, now it's not gonna act. Now it's not gonna act. Hey Siri,
Shy.
what's my name? Oh, see, it's gonna act stupid now. When I don't want her to talk, she talks.
Yeah, and John,
What's that?
John, your phone.
Your picture's going wacky again. You're freezing up, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Your phone's already listening to you anyway. You don't need Siri. You've never noticed that when you pull up like social media, like there's an ad for something that you were just having a discussion about?
Yeah.
It absolutely listens to you.
It's because
It's listening to every single thing that you say, and then when you pull up Facebook and you're scrolling through Facebook, the ads that you're seeing are the ones that you just talked about.
I'm throwing up more than a
How the
garbage
heck do
tonight.
they do that?
I don't want
Crazy.
no technology listening to me.
Everybody's listening.
I'm a spy. I'm one of
Mike,
the last
it's-
spies in Rhode Island. I'm
Hey,
undercover.
look,
No anybody
Mike
listening.
Thomas's flash talks too.
Mike, the reason that happens is because you know that little ad you get where it says grant access to camera and microphone when you download an app. So it has your microphone.
Yeah.
So that's why it can track those ads.
Absolutely.
You should watch the documentary Social Dilemma on Netflix. You'll want to throw all your technology in the garbage.
Are you serious, Holly?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's
So
really interesting.
What's on there?
It's just all about how technology is designed to be really addicting, and the more they make more money, the more time you stay on their app. So after a while, they figure out what you like, and they purposefully put it there because they know the things that you won't turn away from, or you're least likely to turn away from. So it's nuts. It's crazy.
They use computer algorithms and AI to.
Yep.
That's part of what I do. I actually do that in my job, where you have to.
Wow.
You're the asshole.
You have to try to figure out, and you create these algorithms to figure out, like when we worked at Verizon. Like when I worked at Verizon, we used to you could figure out, looking at data, like if you wanted to give someone a coupon for a free iPhone. To get them, you could look at the data and actually create an algorithm to say, this is who you should target for this free iPhone, because this person's not going to buy it. This person is, and I'm telling you, it's a scary stuff.
It's crazy.
That's pretty cool, man. I never did any training with Siri at all. But when everyone started talking about that, I put my mic on mute. I said, "Siri, what's my name?" And she said to me, "You're asking me, Mike?" I was like,
I don't want nothing to do with it. What is this Siri? What is it like a little computer you put somewhere?
No, it's on your phone.
It's in your phone.
your
It's an app on my phone.
No, not an app. You just hold down the home button and you can talk to her and ask
So
her.
I got Siri right now on my phone.
You have an
If you have an
iPhone?
"You have an iPhone, you
No, I
do."
got an Android.
Oh, no. What's the Android one? I don't even
Brenda,
know.
you have Brenda.
Brenda.
I don't know.
Brenda's just like,
She's from Johnston. She used to sing with Lady D back in the 80s, but she had a drug problem, so Lady D kicked her out.
Larissa, what do you make of the show so far, Larissa?
I'm just, so basically no privacy whatsoever. And I never turned my cell phone off.
You have
Just
to turn it off, especially when you get in the shower. You have to turn it off.
If I was,
Who
if
knows
I
what this thing's looking at? It might be Mike over there in Florida. Look, hey, Perrotta's taking a shower.
If I was burying bodies in my backyard, I'd be concerned about the computer listening to me. But I'm not burying bodies in my backyard. I don't care. If people are that bored, they want to listen to my life, whatever. You know what I mean?
True.
It's not very exciting.
Yeah, you're better off. You and I are better off not having an exciting life. When it's exciting,
I'm just,
then we think we're in Vegas, you're in Pawtucket doing a gig, and you think you're in Vegas.
Yeah, when you get to our age, it's like you're just excited to see what you pull out of the mailbox every afternoon. What do I gotta get? What is there anything? Is there any surprises?
I'm
boy,
23 and I still do
boy,
that.
you
So
AARP ad.
But it's one thing, Rocket Joe, but I never get into this stuff. But Rocket Joe told me about this app. You put it on from the post office, you download it, and then every day it sends you an email like 8 o'clock in the morning. It tells you what mail you got coming that day. I don't like all these apps, but I put this one in, and I like it because 8 o'clock. Oh, this is coming today. If I need, it's cool to know. It's cool.
You need, it's like, so in Florida, the mailboxes, they don't deliver mail to your house. Well, and not where I am anyway. We got to walk to the mailbox.
How
So
about
I have
the
that-
mailbox?
Well, for some people, it's, a couple of blocks. For me, it's right across the street.
Blocks.
For me, it's across the street. It's too far.
Jeez.
I don't have time for that shit. But now I can look at it at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I know whether I have to walk across the street or not. Is there anything important? I can wait till tomorrow.
That's
I'm
a
good.
good app. That's a good app. I don't like a lot of
Good app,
apps. Larissa, get that app. It's good. I like it. You can tell what mail's coming.
recently I do a lot of online shopping. Matter of fact, this Nautica sweater is new from online. I just got it back from the from the cleaners. So I do a lot of online shopping. I like how UPS handles it. What UPS does, when your package is delivered, they send you a text of a picture of the package in your hallway.
Yeah.
That is nice. I like that a lot.
I think they
FedEx
should
doesn't
send
do
a text of the guy stealing a package.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I know, right? I know.
I heard last week that I don't know how many millions or billions of packages got stolen last year in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
They
There was
steal.
there was one neighborhood that they all got together and decided to put boxes out with dogs poop in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard. Crazy.
Yeah.
One of the best things too is I have a Ring doorbell, and I don't know if anybody else has a Ring doorbell, but
No, I know what it is.
the great thing about a Ring doorbell is you get alerts on your phone, and you can actually talk to the people. So when they come to your door and you get an alert, you scare the crap out of them. It's great. Like even like when we're away, we'll be away, we'll be on vacation somewhere, and we'll have somebody coming to take care of the pets. And we know that they're coming because we get an alert and we talk to them through the doorbell, and it really freaks them out. And we get a video of it, so we get to laugh from 1,200 miles away when we scare the crap out of them. It's great.
Mike Thomas, do you know the story behind the Ring doorbell?
Oh yeah, from Shark Tank. It was on Shark Tank, right?
Nope. Shaq, who is the greatest pitch man ever, made a call to a security company. He bought some mansion. What's it going to cost me to get this thing secure? $30,000.
The mansion is 15 minutes away from me, by the way.
Is it really? So
Yes.
he says, I'm not paying 30 grand. So now he sees a video for Ring before it blew up.
Yeah.
Through his people, they track the guy down, and Shaq calls the guy up and says, hey, you want to make some money with this thing? And the rest is history.
Wow.
Oh, that's
History.
cool.
He went partners with him on it and everything.
What he did was there's a whole video on it. I think it's Morty Schaefer on 60 Minutes. It's like a 15, 20-minute segment. It's fascinating how Shaq makes more money now than he did when he played basketball.
Oh, I'm sure they all do. That's what they do. That's
He took a cut, and Morty asked him how well did you do? And Shaq leans back and he laughs and he said, I did all right. Think about it. I mean, who's better than Shaq? He does Icy Hot. He does Ring. He did Buick. He does everything. And he's dedicated. Every year.
You should see that mansion he has. It's pretty impressive.
It doesn't surprise me, man. He meets with all the companies that he is a pitch man for, and he basically asks them, what can I do better this year to help you? Brilliant man. Brilliant
He really
man.
is.
Have you met Shaq, Pat, the Bandit?
I have not.
Have you met any sports players? Or you're not into the sports as much? You're into the stars.
I think I met Bobby Orr years ago at a parade with my father, Dorchester Parade, I think years ago.
Nice.
I met Brady once when he first started. Me and my son went to some jewelry store in Warwick, Rhode Island. He was nobody. And we just
I'll tell you, man,
we
the
talked to
first
him,
night-
shook his hand, crazy.
The first night we had Pat McLoud on, I sent him a friend request. He accepted it. So right away, I go stalk him. And this guy has got so
Don't
many
kill me with the
pictures.
stalk, huh?
He's
Don't look
got,
at me with the stalker.
I was waiting for that.
I love how Mike gets right up on the camera and gives us some serious face. I just love
Well,
it.
that's you're a stalker. You're a stalker. I get it.
Pat
You
McLeod
gotta
has
warn
so
people, man.
many
You gotta warn
pictures
people.
of celebrities that I actually got tired and said I got to revisit this tomorrow. I went to bed. It's almost like the internet with Pat McLeod. It's like you're driving and like you come to the end. You have now reached the end.
10 years from now, we'll be sitting on a Zoom call, and he'll be going, give me your name, and Pat will go, I used to go on Zoom calls with Holly Johnston, and we'll go, you're such a liar. Who else wants shit?
Right.
Give us one more,
guys.
Pat. Give us one more. What do you got? One more celebrity you met.
I'll save this. Actually, I wrote this one down because this is a big one. There's a little story to it too. Bob Saget.
Oh, wow. Bob Saget. That's a big one.
So I met him in Boston after a show, and I asked him for some advice, and he said, "You got to think like a tank, kid. You got to keep everything away, and you got to think forward, go straight. Keep focus on yourself." I just watched Joe Rogan's podcast, and he had Bob Saget as a guest.
Yeah.
And he said that, I even wrote this down, that Rodney Dangerfield gave him advice when he was starting out. He said, "Hey kid, you gotta think like a tank, man. You gotta, and he gave me the same advice. Bob Saget gave me the same advice that Rodney Dangerfield gave him. He says,
Wow.
nobody wants you to make it. So you just gotta think like a tank and go. And when I watched it, I was like, wow, Saget gave me Rodney Dangerfield advice, and I never knew it till the other day till I watched that.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Now what you should say is Rodney Dangerfield gave you that advice. That's what you should say. That's the story I got.
Lady
That's
D,
the
who
story
was
I
that?
got.
Who was that with you, Lady D?
What's that?
Who was with you?
Oh, that was my grandson.
What's
That was
his
the
name?
youngest.
What-
That's Zakai. We call him Kai Kai.
Ooh, I like that name.
Zakai, yeah. She has 3 Z's. Zalia, Xavion, and Zakai.
Oh, that's cool.
And the 2 older ones are Kaden and Kiara.
That's cool. That's cool, Lady
Yeah.
D.
Your daughter has 5 children?
Wow.
Wow.
That's what I said.
Yeah, when I went to two kids, I wound up out of my mind. It's tough. Kids,
Can you
a lot
imagine
of
having
work.
5?
No,
There's
I
always some
can't.
action
5
around
kids? No. I'd be telling
They-
Siri, make that oatmeal.
She's homeschooling all of them.
Oh my God.
She's homeschooling them all.
Homeschooling 5 kids?
Yeah.
That's not
God
good.
bless her.
That's not good.
Jeez,
No.
That's a lot of work.
She loves
Now,
it. She's very, very good at it. She's very good at what
I
she does
think
and very organized.
Tony should take a little break once in a while from work and come over and
Tony,
teach,
what?
maybe teach math.
I like homeschool because get more breaks.
Okay.
Actually,
What he
Well,
said.
that was. Come over here for a minute. Tell them what you just said to me.
I like homeschool more than real school because I get more breaks than in real
You get more breaks?
More breaks.
Funny.
How old is he?
That's the 8-year-old.
8 years old.
If I had to teach my kids homeschool, there'd be a period for Xbox. There'd be 1 period for Wii. There'd be another period for make dad a sandwich, make dad a drink. They would learn life essentials. They would absolutely.
There'd be
Exactly.
no gym, no biology, none of that
No,
stuff.
Yeah. She actually does gym. They do have gym and recess. Yeah.
Research.
She actually has a. Oh.
It would be a happy hour every day.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Mike, we are at that time for
Are
a
we
wrap.
really?
Yes, Mike,
Oh, boy.
our would only go so far. Squatters Association, you don't want to go to Vegas and get a decent sponsor. They cut us, and that's it. You know what I mean? You got to get on the ball, Mike.
You're going to hurt the Squatters Association's feelings.
Listen, we're in a pandemic, brother. You got to get better sponsors, man. These are lean times, Mike.
We could probably get Rudy Giuliani to come on. That he definitely
You know what,
would come
Rudy?
on.
If Rudy Giuliani, now that Trump's going to go out, but I think Rudy, if he was smart, he'd make millions do Just for Men commercials.
Honest to goodness, that's a
He
good
could say
idea.
just for men doesn't leak down. And he could say the other one did. Just for men, I can put it in and it stays fresh all day.
You're
Rudy
right, man.
Giuliani,
He should
pitch
do that.
man, just for men, he'll make millions he'll make. I'm serious. He said, now that you got to capitalize on. Because he's all done. Trump's done. He's going to go. You might as well do just for men commercials, right? What do you think?
He can do them with Trump. He could. Trump could introduce him. Let me tell you, I'm going to bring in one of my friends now. He needs a hair guy. He needs a lot of work. I'm going to bring in Rudy. I'm going to bring him in. He's the best. Very smart. Very smart.
Wow, Mike Thomas, you do a
Wow.
That was good, Mike. That was good.
The only reason I'm so good at it is because my wife hates it. So I got to do it all the time.
Dude, that was
All the time. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, honey, please come give me a kiss. Come give me a kiss. She hates it.
When we come to you, Mike, when you do your rap, you got to do Trump. We're going to start off
All
with
right.
Larisa. Larisa Entin, our first responder, came over from Russia, rocked the comedy world, the pandemic hit. What's going on, Larisa? What do you got to say to
Well, I just want to wish
show up?
everybody happy and healthy Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes.
And thanks again for having me. It's always so good to see you guys all. Thank you.
Same to you, Larisa. What are you going to do Thanksgiving? You going to make a turkey?
Cooking.
Or
I'm cooking.
you're cooking, huh?
I'm cooking just like I do every day.
The bird. You're making the turkey.
I am. I certainly am.
Well, that's good. Enjoy. Have a great day. Have a great day. Pat McLoud, who you having Thanksgiving with? Wayne Newton or Billy Crystal?
Wayne Newton. I'm actually got an appointment tonight. I'm going to get my facelift. That's the first thing to start with that. See what happens.
Hey, great having you on, Pat. You always
Thanks, John.
we like to have you on. We listen to all the celebrities that you've met that we haven't. You know, I met a couple. Pat's met so many. I find the stories interesting. You know, you hung with Burt Reynolds and all kind of stars. Hey, have a great Thanksgiving, Larisa, Pat,
Thank you so
and
much.
Lady D. What do you got to say to wrap it up, Darlene Andrade?
I just wanted to tell Mike Thomas that you were talking about big chin, about having more than one chin. That's why these masks are great.
So even after the vaccine, I'm going to be wearing a mask around the bottom of my face.
Yeah, me too. I got more chins than a Chinese phone book. So
Yeah.
this will be fine for me. But anyways, yeah, everybody have a nice Thanksgiving. Stay safe. And that's about all I can say, because what's to be said about that? Just thankful we're alive and hope that none of us catch that baloney.
Yeah. Tell
They
Tony.
say.
Tony didn't get in tonight, but we love Tony. We love him. Tony's the
He
man.
just walked in.
He's the man.
Yeah,
I've met 29 years of comedy. Of all the spouses I've met of comedians, Tony is the coolest dude, the coolest husband that I met in 29 years of comedy. Here he is. He's cool. Tony, what are you doing, man?
Just chilling.
Now, how did you get so cool, Tony? Did you just wake up? Were you born cool?
No,
Or did
after I married Darlene, I just chilled out.
you became Tony Cool.
I had no choice.
I met Tony and Darlene wait like 20 years. You guys are great. I wish you guys great Thanksgiving, you and your family. Stay
Thank you.
safe, Tony.
Thanks.
You're the bomb, you guys. I love you guys. And we got Holly Johnston. What do you got to say to wrap it up, Holly?
I just want to say thanks again, John, for having me. I've had a blast. It was super nice meeting. I think, Darlene, I think we've met before. We've definitely met before.
Yeah, you look familiar, and congratulations on what you've done too. And keep going.
Thank you.
Good for
Thank you. Yeah, Mike, I think it was my first time meeting you. It was nice meeting you. Good luck in Florida. The playground of the world's playground.
Playground of COVID.
It's not a good playground. It's very scary.
Mikey, what do you got to say to wrap it up,
I'm
Mikey?
jealous.
Go ahead, Holly. You got something else to say? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm jealous of Florida. I'm living in Massachusetts right now. We're on total. We're on a very we're heading down a path of a very strict lockdown. So hearing that Disney World's open, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, someone's having fun right now. So
Florida is a very good place. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of wackos, but all the things that you see on Facebook, the people of Walmart, they are all from Florida.
They're all from Florida.
not surprised in the least.
And listen, let me tell you, I want everybody to have a safe Thanksgiving. Stay away from the China virus. Stay away from the China virus. It's from China. It's a China virus. Be safe and,
We try to keep the politics open. Mike, that was good. I like that.
I don't have to talk about politics. I can just do the impression because that's what I do around the house just to piss my wife off.
Mikey, you know what was funny today? Trump came on national news and he pardoned the turkey. And I'm saying to myself, the turkey should pardon him.
Yeah, well, he was probably whispering in his ear. Listen, could you please do the same favor for me? Please,
I know the Trump people will get mad at us for that. I couldn't resist.
All right.
I don't care. Whatever.
At the end.
I like that. I had to get that in because it made sense. The turkey should have pardoned him. And Mike Cronin, the bad boy of comedy, turned Christian comic, Santa Claus here on the Zoom. You're wrapping it up now. What are you going to say for the final words on pre-Thanksgiving show?
I am humbled and honored to be on with this esteemed panel. This was a lot of fun, Johnny. Thank you for having me on. I love you dearly. The road that we have traveled in our comedy journey has been a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. And you know, I want to say this. I called up John this afternoon. We do have some fans of this show, and one of the subscribers wrote on a recent video that we did a podcast how much she enjoys them, how she keeps saying from watching these. So that's really cool. You know, I know that we're in tough times. It's not the normal world that we're used to. However, we'll get back there. We'll, stay faithful. You know, like Salty Brian used to say, brush your teeth and say your prayers. Lean into Jesus. He'll lean right back into you. Larisa, it was great seeing you tonight. Mike Thomas, I have always loved you. You're one of the cutest people that I know. Pat, great hanging out with you tonight and hearing those stories. Holly Johnston, I'm telling you, girl, I love your drive. That is something to be said for your drive and your dedication. I pray God's favor over you. Darlene, great hanging out with you as always. You have such a beautiful family, and you are so immensely gifted by our Heavenly Father. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you and the boys and girls at home watching. God bless you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming on. We had some fun and talked about a lot of great stuff. Mike did his Trump. It's crazy. You guys,
that was great.
I had fun. I enjoyed this. So everybody stay healthy. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you guys.
Thanks, John.
God bless.